Guys, this summer has been the hottest summer since the last summer. It's been the hottest consecutive amount of days this year. This all happened between July and August. Can you believe it? This wild global warming's here and climate change is going to kill us all eventually. We're all just going to die in a heat death. Didn't you see that crazy clip that came out of Texas a couple of weeks ago that said McKinney, Texas was experiencing over 10,000 degree heat? Oh my God, we're all going to die. And Hillary Clinton right there, in the words of her good friend Rahm Emanuel, never let a crisis go to waste, even if you have to manufacture one. Hot enough for you, thank a MAGA Republican. Wait a did they just they do all this? Okay, no, I get thanks for a nice summer. I don't know, like I'm seeing it's hot in certain places. Okay, I don't know if it's unusually hot because I can't trust any of this shit. Okay, look at her sources: Washington Post, CNN, CNBC, Forbes, CBS. I can't trust any of that shit. I don't know for sure or not. In my neck of the woods, it's been reasonably nice. It's one of those middling summers. A couple of years ago, I think, what was that? The summer of 2020? Summer of 2020 or 2021? Must have been 2021 because we had uninterrupted stretches of like 30, 40 degrees. Last summer, it was, I think we had 1 or 2 days above 30. This, it's been a pretty decent sprinkling of warm temperatures, bunch of rain. Like, it's been fine so far. Like, nothing out of the ordinary, nothing that I would chalk up to climate catastrophe or whatever we're on right now. But Phoenix, yes, Phoenix, known for being in the desert, hits a record for 19th day of 110 degree heat in a row. Oh, degrees in a row with more ahead. Yeah, okay, it's hot in the desert. Surprise! It's not uncommon for them to touch 120 degrees. So, okay, not quite the dunk that you think it is. 39-day heat wave could last into August after smashing 2,300 plus records. Which ones? Where are they at? And what constitutes a heat wave in today's day and age? Because we've all seen those comparisons, or rather the meme of the weather lady in Europe, some form or someplace, has the 10-year gap between the two charts that shows a completely green background with warmer temperatures than the completely blood red diagram that's underneath of them that just shows, 24 degrees in the middle of June is somehow in the middle of a heat wave. Yeah, not quite. Not quite. They were all fine and dandy with 29, 30 degrees 10 years ago. Yeah, that kind of seems like the alarmism has gone up as opposed to the science is yet to catch up on this. We're in uncharted territory. World record's the hottest day ever for the third time in just 4 days. Okay. July 4th was Earth's hottest day in over 100,000 years. Oh my God. That was the post that Elon Omar got roasted for. At least something's getting roasted. And then it ended up getting community checked. It's like, no, not even 100,000 years, huh? How long have we been recording temperatures? Oh, not even a fraction that long. Fantastic. Now breaking a record for second day in a row. NOAA. Earth just had its hottest June on record. Be scared, I guess. But yeah, you could just go ahead and troll through all the comment sections here. And it's like, yeah, do you think temperature will abate if we increase human sacrifices? Yo. Yeah, if you don't want to have a hot summer, vote for Democrats because if you just throw money at it, it's kind of like Ukraine. You just throw money at it and eventually it'll disappear. But yeah, you would think that somebody's in the suicide hotline business, so they would be super pumped about it being extra hot outside so they could go ahead and cut their budget somewhere. But no, man, this is just all alarmism, okay? Because the next thing that you can do and the next thing that you can possibly see coming along are different COVID-era lockdown techniques. Shit that you've heard opined from the likes of globalist tyrants in the form of Justin Trudeau talking about, oh, we can't let the COVID situation go to waste. We have to learn and adapt going forward and in our strategy for fighting climate change. I can't express to you what I hope happens to that fucker, mostly because it's illegal and against the law. Hope he lives a long and happy life and maybe eventually goes home to his homeland of Cuba to retire and stay the fuck away from this once great country. But you know climate change lockdowns are at least going to be tossed out there as an idea with all this climate alarmism. Oh my God, summer's hot and the sky is blue and the grass is green and water makes things wet. Like, what the fuck else do you want to opine on for a moment, you idiots? No. They're going to start trying these out because they've been doing brownouts. Not like that in California for a long time to try to conserve energy. Well, Gavin Newsom has the audacity to say, no, everything's great and fantastic in California. Don't worry about it. But deadly blackouts to fight climate change, says a paper. This is from, Los Angeles Times. Oh, okay, not exactly some rag. Well, it is, but it isn't. You get what I mean? It has some credibility. The Los Angeles Times says the blackouts have to increase in order to combat climate change, while stunningly acknowledging the policy may cost people's lives. Yeah, weird, because that seemed to be the same justification of not of power outages, but of lockdowns. Oh, okay, cool. And if we lock down, and especially California, for the better part of 2 years, and now we're just getting this expedited climate change because fewer people are actually working physical jobs. It's interesting how they got to this point. If it didn't work back then, why would it work now into the future? Well, we're just not trying hard enough, I guess. The newspaper has asked its dwindling audience to consider a larger conservation, in which people become more accustomed to changing their expectations, including the idea of living without electricity for large parts of their lives so that they can prevent climate catastrophe. Yeah, exactly. Live like the homeless that are just being crowded around your house. Okay, if they can do it, so can you. Yeah, man, this is just another step towards communism, okay? You don't need electricity that's in there. I know, we understand that it was a marvel of the 19th century, sorry. Okay, but you don't really need that, okay? You can just go ahead and read by the reflection of the moonlight. We would say light candles, but you also can't, water your lawn or anything like that, and everything's highly flammable. But don't worry about those, two crackheads that are outside your house cooking on a hibachi. They're fine. They're impoverished people. Don't take this away from them. The government will go ahead and give them a $1,200 a month stipend, but you're just gonna have to sit in hot darkness. Makes sense. Author Sammy Roth, every fucking time, presents a false dichotomy in the article. Which more important, keeping the lights on 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, or solving the climate crisis? Yeah, I'll take the former. Probably didn't want that though. The piece, I literally thought it said that piece of shit also insists. I'm going to go ahead and interpret it that way. Fossil-funded lies apparently spread by Republicans. Yes, all of those Republicans that are still left in Los Angeles. Okay. Such as the overall uselessness of solar farms and wind turbines. Well, they just really don't like birds, apparently. Fucking birds. Should not be considered within the discussion on how to address climate change. Instead, power everything with a shake weight. Instead of conservation must be oriented towards adding solar panels, wind turbines, and all kinds of energy storage to the grid as fast as possible. Okay, you first. The newspaper also recognizes the risk of such policies as it reports that someone dies every time there's a blackout, and includes a quote from the director of reliability assessment and performance analysis of the North America Electrical Reliability Corporation. You need a longer title, my guy, John Mura, that it's not really about keeping the lights on, it's about keeping people alive until we don't need to keep the lights on and people start to become a little bit more expendable. Oh, and to just harken back to Canada one more time. Well, now, okay, if you're worried about, turning off the lights in order to save for the climate crisis, okay, the people that are going to be most affected are, the sickest people in the ICU in hospital. So instead of taking care of them and running their pockets, you could just be like Canada and offer them the death solution, okay? And as of right now, it's just a choice, but hey, if we just need to make sure that the left is satiated with their climate goals, well, they're going to become less of options and more like guidelines, really. Accepting increased blackouts as yet another extreme measure being suggested to tackle climate change. One recent study suggested changing work hours. Oh my God, I've seen this as well. From 9 a.m. to 6 a.m. Oh, from 9 a.m. to 5 a.m. Should be p.m. to 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. Because yes, peak hotness in the day is always between, noon and 2 o'clock. It's always pegged at around 1 o'clock. So by having people working at the end of the day, right during the peak hours, that's going to change things. But, okay, cool. You don't want people to be working at a time when there's the maximal amount of natural sunlight. Instead, you want them working, even though most people work in some form or fashion in an electronical way, you want them working in the dark or preparing to go to work. And it makes no sense. It's kind of a perfect analogy for all of this climate alarmism to begin with. Figure out exactly, give us exact problems. What is actionable? What is beyond our control? What are the reasonable projections? Not your Greta Thunberg, we have to go back every 5 years and get rid of our alarmist. In 5 years' time, basically, the world is going to die and explode. Instead of having to go back and police your old doomsday tweets all the time, actionable information. Just make it that simple. Can we just go ahead and get that? Okay. Or because there's a lack of the actionable information, given the fact that we've been researching research, or at least spending money on this project for the past 20 years. Maybe the lack of information, maybe the medium. Shout out Rollo Tomasi. The medium is the message. We can't find reliable information, probably because there is no information. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.